Hey, everybody. This is Kisa, Coach K. I hope that you are doing absolutely wonderful tonight. Listen, I am coming to you again to talk about our series this evening, our series called You Could Be Dating a Narcissist Ideal Partners. And we're actually on day three. If you go back, excuse me, I'm still um, kind of getting rid of the remnants of a cold that I recently had or whatever. But I'm feeling much better, much better. But you can go back and you can look on my timeline. You'll see the videos there in which I talk about the first two characteristics, and all I'm doing is literally shedding light on the things that narcissists, excuse me, look for in partners. So we've got 10 of them. So that means we're going to be coming to you each night this week. And that means that we'll also just be coming to you Monday through Friday, is all I'm saying. Monday through Friday. And we're going to be sharing some tips. And the reason that I'm doing this is that I am making sure to put some information in your hands to show you there's a profile that a narcissist has as it relates to a partner. There is a profile. So I want to make sure that you are aware. I'm not saying change who you are. I'm not saying not be who you are, but I want to make you aware that these things don't happen in a vacuum. Okay. Because if you could be dating a narcissist, there are some consequences and there are some I guess you could say consequences, or there's fallout from dating a narcissist and not having proper boundaries. So, my goal is always to inform you and listen. If your situation works great, fine. But I, as a life coach, want to give you some simple tools to help you navigate. Whether it's dealing with a narcissistic partner, a selfish partner, an emotionally abusive partner, I want to give you some information and some tools to help you navigate. Now, if you're talking about being physically abused, that's on a whole other level. So Coach K, Kisa, will tell you that's something that you really need to contact a crisis hotline regarding. As a coach, I'm going to give you tips on how to get out of unhealthy situations, kind of coach you through that, making life changes. But I would say it escalates to red flag if you're in a situation where your partner could potentially be abusive. And please let me go ahead and add this in here as well, ladies and even gentlemen. If you are dealing with a partner who has a tendency or tendencies to be a narcissistic partner or an abusive partner, one of the concerns that you do have to think about is whether or not that person has the capability of being physically abusive. And if so, I'm going to ask you to get help. Crisis hotline, that 101 crisis hotline is what I want you to remember. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're getting ready to dive right in tonight. You all know how I do. You like my little camera play back and forth? I've got two cameras set up here. So you all, that's part of my personality. I absolutely love to do kind of cool techie stuff. So I just love to play with that back and forth. All right. So we're going to move forward. Again, my name is Coach K. I'm a 30-year broadcasting media pro and Alabama maker of the fabulous products All Shea Naturals. Give it up one time for All Shea Naturals to all of my customers out there, all of those of you who have supported me, allshaenaturals.com. You get a 30% discount off, 30% discount with code SUMMER. So you can try out our shea butters and sugar scrubs, and we do custom scents and all of that great stuff. We have a list of scents actually on our website. If there's anything custom you want us to do, we go there. We do it, okay? So excited about the opportunity to be able to work with you on that. And if my message resonates with you, of course, I would never charge you anything for this. But if my message resonates, or if there's something about it that you identify with, as I really teach people on how to navigate emotionally abusive relationships, here's my Cash App. It's Sharper Associates. You know, you'd have to be led. I would never ask you for any money. But again, if my mission resonates with you, if you want to support the work that I do, coming here giving you this information because I want you to understand what healthy relationships look like. Okay. I want you to understand what healthy relationships consist of. And I want you to understand I understand. I have been there, and there is a way out. Okay. You don't have to be stuck. So, again, Sharper Associates, that's my Cash App. If there's something that I say that resonates, or if you're just so inclined to be a blessing to me and what I do, I certainly would appreciate it. So, we have been studying the effects of narcissism, as I mentioned. Okay. We kicked off the series at the end of July with You Could Be Dating a Narcissist. That was the original series that sort of kicked everything off, right? You could be dating a narcissist. The response, the feedback I received was so powerful, was so amazing. I thought, I can't let this go. So, our second series, we kicked off on how to recover from it, because I'm really big on not only giving you an information or identifying a problem. I want to be able to identify a solution for you as well. Okay. So, this is just girlfriend talk. This is just girlfriend talk. I mean, some place we have to be real about problems and challenges that we deal with. This is girlfriend talk. It's uncomfortable. It's may not even be totally overwhelmingly popular, but I don't care about that. If I see one person, if I understand that there's one lady, one brother who can be helped or who can get healed from this, that is my goal and that is my aim. Just stepping across here, y'all, to get some water. Excuse me one second. So that's my goal and that's my aim. Okay. So we kicked off with You Could Be Dating a Narcissist. Then we also gave you 5 steps to recover from narcissistic abuse. And I thought, whoop, not done just yet. Not done just yet. So then I thought, I'm all about taking responsibility too. What are things that people can do to open themselves up to narcissistic abuse? Or what are things that you're currently doing which could open you up to narcissistic abuse? Yep, I got you on that as well. Okay. And that's where we are and why we are here right now. Because what are you doing that could be opening you up to narcissistic abuse? Do you like how I'm working the cameras here? It reminds me of my TV days, y'all. This is so fun to me. This is so fun. Um, so as we continue to study here, what are the things that you could be doing to open yourself up to narcissistic abuse? So we began. You could be dating a narcissist, the ideal partner. So we are on day 3, okay? We talked about the first couple of days, low self-esteem. The second day, being passive. What is being passive? How do you get out of being passive? There are a lot of people, believe it or not, who are like that, who are passive, don't know how to ask for what they want. Well, I gave you some solid tips and the thing tonight, I'm going to give you some solid tips on how to break it now. I'm not just going to sit here and talk to you. I'm going to give you some tips. If you want some help, if you want to be better and do better, that's what this is about. Okay. This is a study on what are some of the things you're doing to open the door, but we're not going to stop there. We're going to give you some tips on how you can get out. KeishaSharp.com, by the way, /life coaching. You can get on my calendar there and take a look at some of the other services I offer. And you can also set up a free complimentary call. And again, Cash App, if my mission is something that you identify with, Sharper Associates, if you are so inclined. Okay. And I say to you, thank you in advance. All righty. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I thought I had changed cameras. All righty. Here we go. So let's talk about the third characteristic. How is it that you open yourself up to being with a narcissist? By being a person who has empathy. And what is empathy? Empathy is the ability to understand another person's feelings. In fact, an empathetic person not only understands your feelings, an empathetic person can really put themselves in your shoes. Okay. What a wonderful, wonderful characteristic to have. Doot, doot. Stop, little puppy. What a wonderful, wonderful characteristic to have. The only problem with that, having that characteristic, is quite simply that if you're going to be an empathetic person, okay, the only problem with that is quite simply if you are dealing with a narcissist is a taker. So whatever you give, they're taking. But it's not a two-way street. It's very much a unilateral street, and the benefactory element flows in one direction. Okay, the benefits flow to the narcissist. Okay, and as an empath, you want to give, you want to listen, you want to be compassionate, you want to understand, you want to make sure that they understand they're not alone. Only problem is, do you see everything is flowing out away from you? Do you get that visual? That's the problem, empaths. That's the problem. Because with a narcissist, very often and very likely, nothing is flowing back into you to fill you back up. It's not a mutually beneficial relationship. Therein lies the problem. Okay. As an empath, what a wonderful, wonderful trait to have, to be able to understand another person's feelings. When you're an empath, what are you doing? You're putting yourself in that person's position and person's place from a point of understanding so they feel heard. That's a huge word as it relates to empathy. Listening, allowing someone to feel heard, because it fosters connection. Don't you understand that really when you connect with someone and you feel most connected to someone is going to be oftentimes when you say, man, they heard me. They understand exactly what I'm dealing with. Yeah, that's how we connect with people. So it is a wonderful attribute to have, empaths. Absolutely wonderful. Let's take a look. In fact, let's see here. Which video do I want to go to first? Which item? So let's talk about the wonderful attributes of being an empath. What does that involve? When you are an empath, excuse me, told you I'm not quite there yet, but I'm much better than what I was. Thank God. Okay, so again, and I want to give credit to psychmc.com. PsychMC. They're looking at the difference between empathy and sympathy. PsychMC. The wonderful attribute of an empath is that the empath has the ability to listen without judgment. I love these things that they're the examples they're giving. An empath is a great listener. An empath listens without intention, meaning they're actively listening and they are face to face with you. Okay, they're not distracted, they're not checking their phone going, okay, oh, you're going through that, all right, oh wow, okay, you know checking that doggone phone. I was looking for my phone and I don't know where my phone is right now. Never mind, I was looking for one of my phones. Well, here we go, we'll use this one. That boom. But they're not checking their phone and scrolling on the latest Facebook post. No, they're actively listening to you. Have you ever talked to someone and this is what they're doing? This is their posture. How annoying. Empaths don't do that. Empaths don't go there. Normally your empath is going to be someone who really listens with intention related to you. They listen without advice. That's a great attribute of an empath. You're not listening to give advice to people. People often don't need advice. Sometimes they just need to be heard. Imagine that. Imagine that. Listening with understanding. You're affirming what the other person is feeling. Even if you don't agree with it, you're not trying to push your thoughts or ideas off on them. You affirm what the other person is feeling, even if you don't agree or understand. You accept their feelings and you accept them. Imagine that. We were talking on Kisa and Joe today, which shout out. It comes on every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can check the broadcast on my page or on the page of Joe Lockett. And imagine if we just were all willing to listen with understanding and stop judging, stop being angry because someone sees things differently from us. Wow, what a difference we would experience in relationships and in the world. The ability to listen with understanding. I understand. It's two of the most powerful words that you can say to an individual, even if you don't agree. I understand. Powerful, okay? Look, I'm exploring the wonderful side of being an empath. And empaths, I'm showing you why narcissists are attracted to you. Narcissists crave supply. Supply for their egos, supplies for their wants, supplies for their emotions, supplies for their life. And whatever it is, if you are connected to one, they've identified you as a source of supply. And sometimes even that source comes in this form right here: the listening, the empathy, the giving them something that they may not get from someone else. Listening with vulnerability. Number five, if you have a similar experience, you consider sharing it with them. And so you're letting them know, I understand exactly where you are. I've been in your shoes. Listening with vulnerability. Ooh, all of the things that make a person who's empathetic absolutely amazing. So shout out one time for my empaths. Shout out to you. So that's a wonderful part of an empath. But what is it in Janet Jackson's song? That's the way love goes. That's the way love. Yeah, okay. I don't want to sing. But she talks about, what is it? Like the moth is drawn to the fire or whatever. Okay. So it's like the empath and the narcissist, they're like just drawn to each other because the empath wants to help and the narcissist will give you plenty of reasons and plenty of ways to help them. I'm just saying. So you get that need met. But let me come back to you, empaths, and let me just say, therein lies the problem. But so you're going to have to, and if you're dating a narcissist, if you're dealing with a narcissist, what happens is you end up becoming worn out. Now, let me talk to you. Let me get real close here and let me talk to you. It is a wonderful attribute to be an empath and to feel and to love and to give people all of the attention that their heart can stand. But at some point, you are not, you are not, how can I say it, an endless vacuum. You have needs. Sorry about the ambulance going by, you all. Here in Birmingham, prayer for that person, whoever is affected by that today. But you are not an endless vacuum. You can't give without being poured back into. You need to be poured back into as well. So empaths, you rock, you shine, you are superstars. But I'm telling you, and I'm giving you a cautionary warning. If you're giving and you know that you're not receiving in a relationship, pay attention and also be prepared to make some changes, okay? Pronto, because you will burn out. That burnout is what leads to irritation, it leads to anger, it leads to stress, it leads to all these different things because you are in a position where you have no one filling your cup. And relationships are beautiful when not only you fill their cup and it flows outward, but that it flows back into you. And I'm not even saying in the same way because people don't give us tit for tat. A person may not have your same strength of listening, but there's something that they're pouring into you because they appreciate you. In other words, let's just say you're a lady and you like kind of talking through and hashing through problems. Okay. Well, your guy may not like doing it like that. Guys are solution oriented. So a lot of times they want to give you the solution, get to it. Well, if you need a sympathetic ear to kind of talk the problem out, go through it, rehash it, kind of go the long way around, well, you may have to go to your girlfriend or another relative and not your guy. You understand? Because he's going to give you a solution because he loves you. He wants to get to that. But if that's just not his character or that just doesn't do it for him, you don't have to put all that pressure on him. But he's got you in other areas, takes care of you, looks out for you. You know what I mean? Make sure you're happy as much as he can, if that makes sense. Looks out for you in other ways, but maybe not just in that part. You can't put every responsibility on them. But again, there's give and take in a healthy relationship, okay? In relationships with healthy boundaries. So just wanted to share that. All righty, folks. All right. So, what else do we need to think about as empaths? What do you need to think about? You need to make sure that you understand that narcissists are takers, no, numero uno, okay? They're takers. What else do you need to understand? You need to be able to understand that you have a responsibility to communicate your needs, your wants, and your boundaries. That's not anybody else's responsibility, sir or ma'am, is your responsibility. What else do you need to do? You have a sense about people. And one of the things that you need to make sure that you do is you honor your intuition. You trust your intuition because often when something ain't right, we know it ain't right. We know it's not. So often we know it, but a lot of times we kind of push through anyway. Well, I'm asking you to honor your God given intuition, honor that. And if something isn't right, pay attention. Please understand, again, I always have to say this as a caveat. Kisa is not saying go and break up, get out, divorce, and do any of that. No, this is let's say this is a clarity call. That's what these segments are, clarity call. I'm showing you on how empaths relate and how narcissistic abuse works, because sometimes we're in things and we don't really understand what we're dealing with. So we go on and we suffer consequences as a result, okay? And finally, as we round this out, make sure that you maintain a strong sense of self. What do you like to do? Where do you like to go? Who do you like to hang with? That's one of the ways that you're able to maintain a strong sense of self, okay? You can't make the person you're in relationship with, especially if they're a narcissist, please don't make them your world. They'll attempt to do that in some sinister cases. They'll attempt to do that, cut off all of your connections so your entire focus is on them. You have laser vision on them. Don't do that. ASAP. If you've put aside your friends, your girlfriends, your whatever, reconnect with them today. Take them to lunch. Go out. Go take yourself to a movie. Go take yourself to your favorite restaurant, okay? That doesn't negate anything with your marriage or relationship. You maintain a sense of you. Remember who you are. And finally, I alluded to this earlier, but it needs to be said. You're going to do a reciprocity check. Are they caring for you? Excuse me, just as you are caring for them. If not, Houston, we got a problem. You could be dating a narcissist. Ideal partners that they look for. They look for people who have empathy, the ability to understand another's feelings. Who am I? Kisa Sharp, Coach K. KisaSharp.com/life coaching. And if this message or any of my other messages have resonated with you, we would gladly take your love offering or support in our mission. Sharper Associates is our Cash App. Hey, y'all, that's my time today. I thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock for another look at You Could Be Dating a Narcissist. Ideal partners. Hey, have a great evening, everyone. Mwah. I'll see you soon.